Tonight on CFTK-TV News, a major BC area is getting new high-speed internet. There's an update on a property Terrace is trying to get cleaned up, and a decision was made regarding a project that will be run by the Haisla Nation.
Northwest BC's only television news team. We are CFTK-TV News.
Good evening, I'm Cale Maslin. Here's what's making news in the Northwest and beyond. A Terrace property that was ordered to be cleaned up was granted an extension. Mui Luke appealed to Terrace Council for more time to clear 442 Greg Avenue. Terrace Council voted in favor, and Luke was granted 2 more months to clean up the property. In addition, the owner of 2 Lizelle properties set to be demolished also appealed for more time. Joanne Ratchford, owner of 4507 and 4509 Lizelle Avenue, attended Monday night's council meeting and asked for an extension on the 30 days she was given to demolish those properties. Council voted no, and Ratchford has a few weeks left to complete the demolition before the city does it themselves and gives Ratchford the bill. The Haisla Nation and partner Pembina Pipeline Construction announced a final decision Tuesday on the Cedar LNG plant project. The approximately $4 billion project will see the construction of a floating LNG facility in Haisla Territory in Kitimat. The Haisla Nation is a majority stakeholder holding 50.1%. Cedar LNG will be one of the largest First Nation majority-owned infrastructure projects in Canada. Josie Osborne, Minister of Energy, Mines and Low Carbon Innovation, said that the facility will be powered by renewable electricity from BC Hydro, making Cedar LNG positioned to be one of the lowest emitting facilities in the world. The project will employ up to 500 people during peak construction and provide 100 jobs while operational. Cedar LNG is anticipated to be in service by late 2028. A story has emerged about how some miners at the Bruce Jack gold mine managed to find themselves conducting an unexpected rescue. A Japanese diplomat was cycling between Seattle and Fairbanks, Alaska, with no one knowing where he was located, and he lost control of his bike on some wet bridge grading. But luckily, a bus carrying the mine workers was nearby and saw him in a bit of trouble. The workers got the diplomat first aid care, got him to their camp, and were eventually able to get him more proper medical care at the Mills Memorial Hospital in Terrace. The diplomat was soon discharged and made it home safely. It was recently confirmed that the people of Haida Gwaii officially have access to high-speed internet that will allow for faster and more reliable access to digital services and opportunities. City West is acting as the operator and also was the builder of the connectivity infrastructure for the Haida Gwaii area that covers several villages such as Dajin Geeds as well as Masset. The project was funded via $2.2 million out of City West's own pockets, and the BC provincial government invested about $4.6 million so that it could be administered through the Northern Development Initiative Trust to cover the $6.6 million cost of the project. This project was also part of BC's commitment to spend about $830 million on expanding high-speed internet. Coming up next, the Green Party recently suffered a major blow. Welcome back. It's been 3 years since a ferocious wildfire destroyed just about the entire village of Lytton. The tiny community is still struggling to get back on its feet. Just a handful of homes are in the process of being rebuilt. CTV's Michelle Bernoro has more from Lytton.
Almost 3 years since the devastating fire, and only about a dozen building permits have been issued so far, and not a single home's construction has been completed.
Isn't that view something else?
Lytton's mayor is eager to rebuild on the site where she lived until the fire, eager to replace what she lost.
My emotions go up and down all the time. You know, sometimes I'm just really thrilled and kind of excited about a new home, and then, you know, the next time I visit here, I walk around the property and I just imagine what I had here.
On June 30th, 2021, Lytton was reduced to rubble by a wildfire that killed 2 people and destroyed hundreds of structures. 3 years later, signs of progress. But the mayor says there remains many challenges. Home construction costs have risen astronomically, and people continue to face crippling costs of up to $80,000 to cover archaeological assessments required on each property.
The costs for archaeological work required for rebuilding are exorbitant and prohibitive. These costs are not covered by insurance.
There are only a handful of people living in the main part of the village. This home somehow surviving the raging blaze, now aptly named Miracle.
Oh yeah, it's a miracle. That deserves this name.
Belinda Nixon is frustrated by the slow rebuild.
I'm devastated and just really, really disappointed because we have to travel out of town for everything.
Outside the village of Lytton, there are about 30 properties also impacted by the wildfire, and people there say they feel forgotten.
It has been a struggle to try and have any level of government recognize the regional district that was also impacted by that fire. I think that decisions perhaps were made by people that didn't understand the geography and assumed everybody lived in the municipality.
Meanwhile, the mayor blames the lack of help from higher levels of government for the length of time it's taken to rebuild Lytton.
Like many small rural communities, the capacity and the knowledge and the expertise just is not there to handle this.
The mayor says what has surprised her most is the bureaucracy and the slow response from other levels of government as they try and rebuild their community. Michelle Bernoro, CTV News, Lytton.
Former Premier John Horgan is once again facing a major health challenge. He has received his third cancer diagnosis, and he's taking a leave from his job as ambassador to Germany. CTV's Rob Buffum reports.
Thank you very much.
Popular leader John Horgan is battling cancer once again. The former BC Premier and ambassador to Germany diagnosed with thyroid cancer. A revelation sparking outpourings of support from across the political spectrum.
I really wish for him a very fast and full recovery.
It's devastating to hear this news. Cancer now for the third time. He's gone through a lot.
Ravi Parmar was mentored by Horgan, the two becoming close friends. Parmar is now the MLA in Langford, Horgan's former riding.
It's heartbreaking to hear, but if there's one thing I know about John, he's a fighter.
Horgan's latest bout with cancer was discovered after a routine follow-up in Berlin regarding his previous throat cancer. He added in a statement, "I am on leave from my position at the embassy and in hospital receiving immunotherapy to treat this new thyroid cancer. It is the third instance of cancer I've had, but I remain confident and hopeful that I will again live long and prosper." The Star Trek fan using the same parting words as in his presser announcing his diagnosis with throat cancer back in 2021.
Live long and prosper, people.
His recovery from that leading to him stepping down as premier in 2022, before being appointed ambassador to Germany last November.
John is, of course, a good friend of ours and truly a great British Columbian who has served this province so well.
The 64-year-old was also previously diagnosed with bladder cancer while in his 40s. He went on to become premier in 2017. His party winning a majority in 2020's snap election, securing its most ever seats.
He's the man. I love the guy, and I'm 100% behind him, and I know all British Columbians are.
It's not certain at this point whether John from Langford, as he's affectionately known, will return to BC for any further treatment.
Turning now to a major blow for the BC Green Party, one of their two MLAs announced that he won't be running for re-election in October. Adam Olsen says his priorities have changed, and as CTV's St. John Alexander reports, the question now is, can the Greens survive the election?
Thank you, Lisa.
The decision was made some time ago, but this didn't look easy. Just like it was incredibly challenging, he says, to tell the party leader.
That I was not able to continue as an MLA or to put my name forward.
BC Green MLA Adam Olsen, first elected in the riding of Saanich North and the Islands 7 years ago, says it's been a difficult year, in particular with some recent deaths.
And this spring, when the third one passed, I was deeply struck that there are now two very young children who will never really know their incredible father. So I began asking myself, how much do my children actually know me?
Olsen is well regarded, an adept politician who never shied away from revealing personal truths if it would help others.
My 20s were rough. Tobacco, coffee, sugar, cannabis, cocaine. I had an unhealthy relationship with myself, and I abused these substances.
I consider it the greatest gift of the last 7 years, my friendship. and being able to work alongside Adam.
He is one of only 2 Green MLAs, so this is certainly a blow for the party, just when the most recent poll shows them in 3rd place ahead of BC United when asked which party's candidate voters would choose. But leader Sonia Furstenau is in 4th place when asked who would make the best premier, and is in a new riding facing a tough fight in an NDP stronghold.
We are focused on what it takes to get Greens elected.
At the moment, there is no Green candidate waiting to take Olsen's place.
I want to take a moment to thank my dad, Sewi Suit, Carl Olsen, and my mom, Sylvia Olsen.
He hopes someone who shares his passion for politics and the environment will step up. St. John Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
One of Metro Vancouver's most popular beaches has been put on the Do Not Swim list, and health authorities are keeping a close eye on a few others. While none are officially closed, more water testing is about to get underway to determine their safety. CTV's St. John Alexander again has the details.
Anyone who hadn't heard the news was grateful when they were told by Good Samaritans. And with the exception of those who, by nature, can't read, most beachgoers kept out of the water at Ambleside Park.
Usually they come in the morning and they enjoy a swim, and also a lot of children.
Signs posted everywhere warn standards are not being met. A high level of E. coli is making it unsafe.
When we see persistent elevated levels or numbers that are very high, we know that that can present a risk to health of people who are swimming, bathing, or otherwise recreating in the area.
Vancouver Coastal Health runs water tests several times a month, and so far the only official advisory is at Ambleside. But they are also keeping an eye on the water over there. Samples from Stanley Park's 2nd and 3rd beaches, as well as Sunset Beach downtown, are showing higher than expected results. This does not mean they are unsafe, and they are still open to swimming. But health authorities will give the area some extra attention. E. coli is found in human, animal, and bird feces. A high count can be dangerous.
At risk of getting infections that can affect the stomach and intestines, and so that could cause symptoms from diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting, to even really severe infections that can affect the whole body and potentially cause really severe illness.
I hope that they pay attention to it.
I hope so.
Because it's their health.
Now, Ambleside is not officially closed. If it were, this sign would be marked with an X. And soon, it may be safe again. The water is being tested this week. St. John Alexander, CTV News, West Vancouver.
Turning to tonight's weather, the North Coast is set to see a chance of showers plus a low at 11 degrees. The Terrace-Kitimat area should deal with a chance of showers 2 plus a low of 14 instead. And the Bulkley Valley and Lakes District is expected to get some showers of their own plus a low of 9 degrees. On the North Coast, the week for them yet again will be made up of all rain and clouds and see a high bouncing from 12 to 15 degrees. In the Terrace-Kitimat area, their upcoming week should also get lots of rain and a high switching from 20 to 18 degrees. And in the Bulkley Valley and Lakes District, again, should maybe get a little bit of sun, but rain and clouds otherwise, plus the high should move between 24 and 19 degrees. Checking out the highways now, visit Drive BC for the latest and up-to-date conditions, and as always, drive safe out there. On Highway 16, there is utility work, bridge maintenance, roadside brushing, road construction work, and mowing. Highway 37 has some paving operations, bridge maintenance, roadside brushing, and more maintenance. Highway 37A has some road sweeping, and the Nishka Highway is dealing with some bridge maintenance. And this is what the roads were looking like this afternoon around the region from the View of the Province's highway cams. Still to come, illegal use of bus lanes in Metro Vancouver has become a common occurrence lately. Welcome back. Metro Vancouver Transit Police have caught hundreds of drivers illegally using bus lanes this week. It's an enforcement blitz and education campaign because, as CTV's Ben Bilger reports, some drivers appear to be confused about who's allowed to use the lanes.
So that's a bus lane, 7 to 7. That's why I'm stopping you, because you shouldn't be in that lane.
One after another, Metro Vancouver Transit Police waved at drivers to pull over, and many of them didn't even realize they had done something wrong.
We have a lot of people that are actually were just not aware. They always assume that if you see a diamond, it's an HOV lane.
In reality, this diamond symbol means a lane is restricted. Drivers should look for signs like these showing which vehicles are allowed in the lanes and at what time of day. Taxis are allowed in bus lanes, but ride-hail vehicles like Uber and Lyft are not. Drivers may use the lane for the purpose of turning right, but must not drive straight through intersections.
Generally speaking, ignorance of the law is not a defense at law, and so it's important for drivers to educate themselves about the rules of the road before they get into their motor vehicle and start driving.
A ticket for driving in the bus lane is worth $109. Police say when people weave in and out of the bus lane to get ahead of traffic, bus drivers may have to slam on the brakes, creating a safety issue for passengers.
There has been times where they have fallen off the chairs, sometimes fallen off just standing. So this is more of a safety just more awareness for all the people driving on the roads.
Police let some drivers off with a warning.
Because you're a student and you're an international student.
Others weren't so lucky.
The fine's $109. It's $25 less if you pay it within 30 days, okay?
Through the first 2 days of the campaign, police handed out close to 300 tickets and also caught 2 impaired drivers. Ben Bilger, CTV News, Vancouver.
Summer's just getting started and Vancouver beaches are full of people enjoying the weather. But some say a bylaw on beach hours reinforces the image of a no-fun city. CTV's Isabella Zavarisi explains how some social media photos sparked a call to change the rules.
Watching the sunset on a warm summer evening. It's something we wait months to do. But recent photos at English Bay show the experience cut short. Vancouver police and park rangers asking people to leave.
Wasn't surprised. I mean, we see it every night, every weekend.
City parks and beaches are technically open from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. After that, police and park rangers are able to enforce a bylaw, forcing visitors out. Jeremy Omand says it's happened to him dozens of times, most recently on Friday when he was paddleboarding at Spanish Banks. His car, along with others, were locked in the parking lot after 10 o'clock.
It's a silly bylaw. We're in one of the most beautiful cities in the world. The beach is one of the main aspects that people come here for.
I was afraid that this was going to happen. This is very disappointing to see.
Park Board Commissioner Tom Digby says he's not a fan of more cops on beaches and objected to a recent pilot project that funds more of them.
This is something that's been happening for a number of years. It's really nothing new. The objective is public safety.
The VPD says the warmer weather and crowds keep police busy, especially at English Bay.
We absolutely understand that anybody who's ever seen the sunset from that location probably never wants the night to end. However, we have been faced with a number of public safety challenges, particularly after dark in English Bay.
Digby says he thinks the hours should be adjusted to the time of the year and that discretion should be used when enforcing the bylaw.
If there's no major trouble going on the beach, you would think that the police would use their discretion to give people a bit more time.
Some think the bylaw should be scrapped altogether.
No fun city, that's the message it sends.
Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Vancouver.
A 7-month-old baby was left on a Montreal sidewalk after the car it was in got stolen. As CTV's Kelly Gregg reports, police are still seeking the thief who fled after crashing the car.
This is where a stolen car was abandoned after an alleged thief took off with a 7-month-old baby in the back seat. Police received a 911 call about 8:15 this morning. Sources say a mother was dropping off one of her children at a West Island daycare. When she came back, her car was gone with the baby in the back seat. Police say the alleged thief quickly realized the baby was there and left the infant on the corner of Alexander Street and Gouin Boulevard in Pierrefonds, Roxborough. Here's Montreal Police spokesperson Sabrina Gauthier.
So when he realized that, he just grabbed the baby and put it on the sidewalk on the Alexander Street near Gouin Street in Pierrefonds. The child is fine, is not in danger, no injuries, very healthy. He quickly has been taken charge by her mom and by all the witnesses who are on the scene.
The alleged thief then drove the vehicle all the way to the corner of Crémazie and Saint-Urbain in the Villeray-Saint-Michel Park Extension borough. That's when police received a second 911 call about a half hour later about a car that had crashed into a cement divider. The suspect then fled on foot. The baby was returned safely, and the mother is now being treated for shock. Kelly Gregg, CTV News.
And now we turn our attention to the stock markets. The Canadian dollar is down to 10 cents. The price of gold is down $17.60. Oil is up 7 cents. Natural gas is down 11 cents. Aluminum is down $14. In Toronto, the TSX is up 5.42 points. The Venture Index is up 1.01. In New York, the Dow Jones is up 15.64, and Nasdaq is up 87.51. Still ahead is a look at some unexpected stars of TikTok. Welcome back. Rats give some people the creeps with their hairless tails and sharp claws, but they've also managed to become unlikely TikTok sensations. A couple in Squamish trained their pet rodents so well that they can even drive. CTV's Adam Sawatsky has the details.
To appreciate why Kendall Crawford couldn't be more pleased to get a pair of tiny cars for her birthday,
I was happier than if he had bought me a real car.
we need to go back to when she and her partner, Sean Stevens-Whale, decided to adopt a pet.
We were looking at potentially getting a dog.
But then both Sean and Kendall happened to hear about the potential similarities between dogs and rats, visited an animal shelter, and met Kronk.
He kind of looked like a rat you'd find in a sewer.
Kronk had had a rough life before being rescued, but there was something about the way that he had bonded with another rat named Cusco.
This is a really special little guy.
So special, Kendall and Sean decided to consider adopting them both over the next couple days.
And we got about a block away, and we turned around, and we picked them up.
And that first night the rats cuddled up close, Kendall and Sean knew they'd made the right decision.
Welcome Kronk and Cusco into our lives.
As soon as the rats felt safe, the next step was making them feel happy.
Rats, they thrive on enrichment. Spin. That's a good boy.
Like a dog looks forward to going for walks or chasing balls, the rats relished learning every new trick Kendall and Sean taught them, from solving puzzle boxes to pulling ropes.
They were really everything that I could have ever hoped for in a pet.
And while it wasn't a surprise that they celebrated Halloween by dressing up as characters from Ratatouille, they never expected that Kendall's dad would celebrate her birthday by building little electric cars for the rats to learn how to drive in.
I did not think they were going to figure anything out.
But after Cusco and Kronk learned how to press a pedal to move forward on the first day, Sean and Kendall were committed to teach them how to use their paws to turn left and right, which the rats mastered after about a week.
Their ability to conceptualize where they are, just as humans do when they're driving, is pretty incredible.
And now Kendall and Sean are sharing their adventures with Cusco and Kronk on social media, with the hope of revealing how rich and rewarding a connection with other creatures can be if we support them in living their best life.
Their experience of the world is so much deeper than we realize.
They're creative, they're smart, they're affectionate. They've definitely brought a lot of joy to my life.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Squamish.
That's all of our news for now. From everyone at CFTK-TV News, I'm Cal Maslin, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.